Welcome everyone. We're at the South Florida Fairgrounds. We're going to check out Yesteryear Village, which is a group of buildings from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, like a blacksmith shop, fire engine, old post office. Let's check it out. This looks like it's supposed to be a representative of an old fire station. Inside, how they had things set up. Table to eat. There's like an old stove in the back. And Chief's fire hat right there. Fireman's prayer there. And some old pictures back in the day. There's a little sign here that says, "Turn my crank gently, please. I'm almost 100 years old." So let's give it a try. Oh, that's pretty cool. You can hear what the fire engines used to sound like. And you could see some old suits here. Mangonia Park Volunteer Fire Department. This is an old village print shop. Yesteryear Village History, beginning of Palm Beach County Press. So we are in West Palm Beach, Florida. Beginning of the Palm Beach County Press, Henry Flagler. This looks like a ham radio exhibit with old ham radios. There is a amateur radio world map. And you can see a lot of the old ham radios. And that looks like a newspaper article from 1955. And this looks like a fire station. You can see some of the old fire hats and fire helmets. That's a 1924 American LaFrance aerial truck. And here's the engine, which says it's a standard Type 17 four-wheel tractor. Another fire truck here. (1948) Maxim 75-foot aerial ladder. is an exhibit of a lot of different fire engine memorabilia, fire extinguisher grenades, early lead acid batteries. There's like an old fire suit there, asbestos proximity suit. This looks like the Village print shop. Let's take a look at the sign here. Most shoes made only of leather in the 20s and the 30s were repaired. This looks like a pineapple processing plant built in the early 1900s, Edenville, Florida, wood frame. This small building was one of the several structures located on the Eden Plantation in Edenville, Florida. After the pineapples were harvested from the fields and put into the baskets were brought into the processing plant. They would be washed and put on a crate at the packing table to get packed for shipping. All right, let's go in and check it out. Some images, pineapple field in Winter Haven, Florida pineapple field, the varieties of pineapples, red Spanish, smooth cayenne, Kona sugarloaf, harvesting season was from June through August. That picture is Indian River Pineapple Plantation, circa 1920. That's pineapple production by country. And it seems like the Philippines has the largest production. Sugar processing exhibit. Sugarcane, tall perennial grass, is used for sugar production. Is the world's largest crop by production quantity. The main product of sugarcane is sucrose. So it looks like you could see some of the old equipment that they used right here. Produce the sugarcane. There's a plaque here. Fire stations were one of the first civic buildings established in Florida. As an important community center, they often hosted social events, were the gathering place for the local male population. Many fire stations were manned by volunteer firefighters. And there's another plaque here. Another plaque here about a print shop. Communication was just as important in early Florida as it is today. Print shop was the place where the local newspaper was printed and was also responsible for getting the word out about area happenings. To help the town stay safe, wanted posters were printed at the print shop as well. Very cool. Looks like here we got some of the old fire equipment. Some of the fire hoses, some of the like extinguishers, and all the different old equipment. Let's check it out. Old Texaco gas pump. That's pretty cool. An old dental building. Dentistry as a science was slow to develop, but the earliest history of treating tooth-related problems dates back to 1600 BC in Greek texts. Alright, let's check out the Painless Dentistry by Dr. Lawson. Let's check it out. You can see all the old equipment, old chair, drill. So now we have a barber shop. Barbershops were a place to meet, socialize, and gossip. They were also places for public forums. Barbers mainly cut, groom, style, and shave men's hair. Early records show that barbers also performed surgery and dentistry. So this is what an old barber shop looked like. There's like an old original barber chair, cash register, yeah, all kind of stuff. Nice. Maybe I need to get my hair cut. Okay, this looks like a wood shop. Woodworking shops in Florida were very common in the late 1800s. The local woodworker handcrafted everything from the tools he used to the furniture and the tools were built. The woodworker was an artisan as well as very important contributed to the early ways of life. Let's take a look and see what it looks like. So this looks like an old woodworking shop in here. You can see all the lathes and saws and all the tools and the files that they used. Railroad buildings and switching stations. This vintage maintenance building is from Florida East Coast Railroad. It was transported from Melbourne, Florida in 1997. Let's take a look at some of these vintage railroad cars. The Wilderness Line. Original railroad cars from 74 to 79. Like Bridge Tender's house, residents built 1930s Florida. In early Florida, the Bridge Tender and his family lived in a small home that was actually located on the bridge. This home was the residence of the Bridge Tender for the Ocean Avenue Bridge in Lantana, Florida. The bridge was manually operated, so when boats came, he would have to crank the bridge open by hand. Wow, that's pretty cool. And this looks like what the original house looked like back in the 1930s. Pretty cool. And this is like the bridge down there. Okay, now we have a, looks like a blacksmith shop barn from 1930, Gulfview, Florida. Barns in early Florida often served more than one purpose for the surrounding community. This barn in particular was not only a horse barn, but also the first meeting place for the town council. And this is what it looks like. This is kind of a cool old yesteryear village. A lot of buildings from the 20s, 30s, and 40s in West Palm Beach, Florida. So let's continue walking around. Florida cracker cattle. The Corriente cattle of the country, known as cracker cattle in Florida, can be traced back to the first cattle brought to the New World by the Spanish as early as 1493. I guess that's what the cattle look like. Old dairy and bread sign right there. The No Name Corral. That looks like a steer right there. Cracker cow camp. Let's check out the inside of this old building at the Florida Cracker Cattle. Like an old saddle right there. Florida cracker cattle, descendants of the cattle brought to the New World in the early 1500s. Sleep tight. The rope on the bed would stretch with use and would have to be tightened periodically, hence the phrase sleep tight. Oh wow. Don't let the bed bugs bite. It is said that the saying came from the mattresses that were stuffed with straw or Spanish moss. The stuffing provided a harborage for all types of insects and rodents. While you were sleeping, the bed bugs would come out for a quick bite. Pretty funny. Did you know in Florida today there are over 18,000 cattle ranches and 1.8 million head of cattle? First brands recorded in Florida by the Spanish in the early 1500s. The Bink Glisson Museum, replica of a residence built in 1858. The Bink Glisson Museum is a replica of the Hale plantation home located in Alachua County, Florida. This replica was constructed for Bink and Joan Glisson and houses many historical objects that the Glissons collected through the years. The collection includes tools, fishing equipment. All right, let's check it out. Oh, looks like some old typewriters, old sewing machine. Looks like a collection of cameras up there. There's a projector from 1925, like an old turntable. Looks like a general store from the late 1800s, and also a replica of a post office from around 1850.
That it's replicating. So we do have like the wooden shelves that came from the original store, and then also this front of the store wood, and then the other half came from they found that in the dumpster. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
I like it.
thank you.
Oh, that's for your pot. What a good thing back then. For your pot. Thank you so much.
Hope you enjoy the rest of your stay.
You only came to South Florida.
This looks like Corbett House, a hunting shack built in the 1920s. And early Florida structures were built for the purpose of sheltering farm workers, cowboys, and hunters. Yeah, let's check it out. I guess this was like an old hunting shack. Corbett House. You can see some old skulls over there. There's an old bed. Rocking chair. Yeah, you could just see a lot of old stuff. Scale. A little waterfall here. This looks like an old fishing and tackle shop. You could see some old outboard motors. Bait, red worms, 10 cents a dozen. Old checker set. It looks like a lot of old fishing tackle, fishing reels. Picture of some of the fish that they caught back in the day.
By your hand? Some food for the catfish, right?
This looks like an old candle shop. Let's take a look. It's an old candle shop from back in the day. This is a courting candle and was used to time a gentleman caller's visit with the daughter of the house. If the father liked the young man, he might put a long candle in the holder. If he didn't like the caller, he would light a much shorter candle when the candle went out till the visit was over.
That's very good.
This looks like the Red Level Baptist Church, built around 1893, Crystal River, Florida. Let's check it out. Sewing Circle, tourist cabins, built in the early 1900s, Riviera Beach, Florida. Tourist cabins became popular in Florida in the 1920s. Old sewing machine. Looks like an old table. Whoa. Look at that old refrigerator. This is the kitchen. Old stove. Oh, look at that bed. Old bed. Cabins like these were most popular from the 20s till the 50s, when air conditioning television became popular and there were less reasons to escape the heat of the city in the summertime. L Street House, residence built in 1925, Lake Worth, Florida. This shotgun style home is typical of the houses built during Florida's first land boom. All right, let's check it out. It's like an old radio there. General Electric. That is an old telephone. Old bathroom. Old refrigerator. General Electric.
That's how it used to run.
Southern Bell telephone exhibit, built in 1931.
Well, we try to go around them.
Okay, good.
It's easier that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let them go in the building first and I'll go in there.
These are the people. You have a lot of children here.
I know,
Yeah.
I've seen them when they came in.